I was kind of tired of doing political videos for a little while. Like, I didn't want to do any more political videos. I'm tired of them. Like, just, it's been nuts the last few while. And what on earth would get me to do a political video at this point? Well, as it turns out, the thing to do it would be the campaign against sex robots. The campaign against sex robots, which is a real thing that does exist. And I'm going to talk about it briefly. I still have kind of a bad cough. Just very briefly, there is a campaign against sex robots. I don't know what I can add to make that not funny. Yes, it is exactly what it sounds like. So I'm trying to do this quickly. But yeah, there is... Okay, I'm going to have to explain this. Alright. Realdoll is a company that makes realistic-looking sex dolls. It's a full-sized, made of like memory foam or something like that. It's supposed to... I am not going to be able to get through this without giggling a lot. Okay. It's a doll that looks and feels real. What they're planning on do is adding more, I guess, animatronics and like a computer in it, plenty of space for it, so that it can talk and react to people and feel your touch and all sorts of stuff that are super duper creepy. Okay, I'm going to do this. Going to go straight through. Alright. So Realdoll makes real dolls, but now they're planning on making full-blown sex robots, and starting next year. And another company has actually wanted to get in on the game too, so it's a real thing that's coming. I think they cost like a couple grand, like seriously, like as much as a used car to start with, and as much as a rather expensive sports car to finish with. Like less than 100 grand, but almost at the low end, close to 10 grand, something like that. Real sick-ish. So this pops up as a thing, so immediately a group comes into existence specifically for the purpose of shutting this shit down, called the campaign. I'm actually on their website right now. The Campaign Against Sex Robots, which is exactly what it says. It is a group that specifically wants to shut down, prevent people from, I guess, building or buying sex robots for nebulous reasons in my mind. I'm on the site, I'm like going through it, and their reasoning is, A, won't someone think of the children because they're worried someone will make child sex robots, and 2, I mean that's a reach in my mind. 2, and this one is more of a reach, I'm thinking, is that people will objectify the robot women, and some men. There will be robot men, sex men, robot. How could I resist this topic? So that will somehow objectify real people, I guess. The only argument looking through this site that I thought as a reasonable-ish argument was okay, people are divided. Once again, the idea that technology divides us, that we're on our cell phones, that we're on Twitter and all this stuff, and that's removes us from people. If you can have a sex robot that will sex you up whenever you want, that sounds kind of awesome. Moving on, it will prevent you from having normal relationships. And I get that's actually kind of ish reasonable, except I think they're getting that ass backwards. I think the person who's going to put down, like 10 grand for robot, for a sex droid. Crazy as this will sound, I think the person who's going to put down going to take out a loan for a sex robot isn't the kind of person who's like has an alternative as to going out to a bar or something and picking up women. That seems unlikely to me. This seems more like, look, I'm not particularly attractive, I have some crazy, weird social thing, I just don't get along with people very well, but I'm a human being, I'm a mammal. We have a predisposition towards having as much sex as possible. In many cases, the entire primates, in particular, are pretty sexy damn mammals. Likes to have sex all over the place. Humans, in particular, don't have a mating season as much. You can tell when, for example, a female chimpanzee, could get pregnant, but just by looking at her. And I'm not going to go into that, so fuck you. But you can't for a human female. Humans are very disposed towards having lots of sex, but nonetheless, in the modern society, we have people who are just isolated. And there's a reason the internet is, in fact, for porn. On that note, like I said, this seems like a product. Okay, let's go through this. In my mind, this was going to be a stupid 4-minute video, and it's not, because it's complicated enough it needs discussion. My thesis here is, this is a silly campaign. The campaign against sex robots is silly. I think it has a foundation in these 3 elements I just discussed. I think 2 of them are just outright ridiculous, and 1 is backwards. 1, let's go through this. I think this is going to be a rare thing. I can't imagine the future where, in any time in the next decade, a sex robot is going to be something you get out of like a vending machine. And what a vending machine it would be. But that's neither here nor there. My point is, it's going to be rare. It has to be. I mean, even Realdolls, I understand that they do business, but they do business in a world with 7 billion people. They only need to get that tiny, tiny percentage to get enough to keep afloat. A sex robot seems a logical next step for them, because they're lonely weirdos who need to be sexed up. God knows I'm one of them. So, yeah, I mean, I see it. I don't see the campaign. I don't think this is going to be common. I think there's a niche for it. I mean, and 2, what's the alternative? Or 3 at this point. What's the alternative? Just, lonely people should just waste away or something like that? Whatever. 3, what is the campaign for sex robots going to do? Illegalize robot sex? How do you do that? How do you enforce that? How do you know about that? That's crazy. So, I just think this site's ridiculous. I mean, I would recommend going through this site. I think I want to say their hearts are in the right place, because they're not robots, which don't have hearts. They're robots. But this part of this seems weirdly not even antiquated is the word I want to... Just the idea of, some weird form of sex. Well, we disapprove of that. Society has to step in. I mean, this is the kind of shit that gets you, like, anti-sodomy laws and nonsense like that. So, I'm just going to ignore this as a very... don't get me wrong. I'm glad this exists. This is special. And as I've mentioned before, I like when people say stupid shit, because it gives me the opportunity to argue with them, which I have just done. I welcome the campaign against sex robots to debate me. I'm game. I want to hear from you. Flat out. I totally do. 100%. I can't even stress how much. How much that would make my day. Like, if I got an email from the campaign against sex robots, I would be giddy. But anyway, short video. like and subscribe if you're inclined to. I'm going to put a link to the campaign against sex robots, and for equal time, I'll also put the link for Realdolls and their competitor for sex androids. Rock on. That's it.